Good afternoon, everybody. Buenas tardes, and welcome everyone joining us through Zoom and Facebook Live. Un saludo muy cordial a todas las personas que nos acompañan esta tarde a través de Zoom y de Facebook Live. Mi nombre es Yesenia López y soy la directora del Centro de Investigación y Información Hispana de Nueva Jersey, el NJHRIC por sus siglas en inglés, y estamos localizados en la Biblioteca Pública de NORC. My name is Yesenia Lopez, and I am the director of the New Jersey Hispanic Research and Information Center. We call it HRIC for short, at the Newark Public Library. It's a great pleasure to welcome all of our busy Latinas and thank them for joining us on this hot afternoon. Unfortunately, one of our panelists may be joining us late or may not be able to join us. But we have a wonderful panelist full of information to discuss here this afternoon. So me da la gran placer a dar la bienvenida a todas nuestras panelistas de parte de mí, de la biblioteca y del North Latino Film Festival. Gracias. Hoy, pues ahora vamos a empezar el programa Combatiendo la Invisibilidad, Latinas en la Industria del Cine, la segunda parte. Vamos a hablar sobre latinas que trabajan detrás de la escena. We are going to be starting our program, Fighting Invisibility, Latinas in the Film Industry, Part 2, Behind the Scenes. And just to give you a little background, this program came to be when the North Latino Film Festival's founder, Ramon Nazario, approached me a couple months ago about a program that would highlight the often unrecognized and unseen Latinas who work in the film industry. And hace meses, que el fundador del North Latino Film Festival, Ramón Nazario, me habló sobre un programa que reconocería latinas que trabajan en la industria del cine y que combatan la invisibilidad muy frecuentemente. Y pues por la pandemia tuvimos que coordinar por otro tiempo. Así que gracias a las panelistas de nuevo para decir presente por un programa virtual, un poco diferente de lo que habíamos planeado. Because of the pandemic, we had to reschedule our program for a later time. So thanks again to all of our panelists who agreed to join us in a virtual program instead. So on that note, I'd like to introduce this evening's host, Michelle Narvaez, entertainer, host, actress, and put her on the stage and she does it is the way she'd like to be introduced.
Thank you, Yesenia, so much. Yes. Thank you for having us and bienvenidos. Welcome everybody to Fighting Invisibility, Latinos in Film Part 2. Bienvenidos todos a la segunda parte de Combatiendo la Invisibilidad, los latinos en el mundo del cine. Me da un gran placer estar aquí. Estoy muy orgullosa de estar aquí en el panel con mujeres muy talentosas. No gastemos más tiempo y vamos a introducir a nuestras panelistas. Vamos a empezar con Edith Crescencia. Si nos puede decir un poquito, Edith, por favor, un poco de usted, de dónde es y cómo empezó en el cine.
Oh, okay. Hi. Thank you for having me, in the panel. It's actually a great pleasure. My name is Edith Crescenciana. I started off as a producer and also a producer assistant, and I represent films in film festivals. So I'm the face, of the film. When the director or the rest of the team can't show up, I'm the one that shows up, and I move the film itself throughout festivals. I handpick them, and I make sure that that we keep up with the requirements that they ask and all that fun stuff. But along the way, I'm also studying production. At some point, I like to be able to produce my own films and also help filmmakers produce their own films, and both in English and in Spanish. Should I say that in Spanish? I'm not sure.
No, well, if you're comfortable, it's up to you, but that's awesome.
Sure, yeah. Claro que sí. Bueno, trabajo en producción, claro. empecé como asistente de producción y también en producción en general. Represento películas y cortometrajes dentro del circuito de festivales de cine. Yo soy la cara de la película, me encargo también de escoger los festivales, me encargo también de asegurarme que cumplamos con los requerimientos, me aseguro de presentarme yo cuando el equipo de la película no puede presentarse, soy yo la que va y habla por parte de ellos. Y, o sea, también en mi tiempo estoy tratando de estudiar producción en general para poder hacer mis propias películas, o sea, más adelante, y hacerlas en español y en inglés.
Bueno, Edith, bienvenidos. Un placer tenerte aquí en el panel hoy día. Muchas gracias por darnos tu tiempo. También tenemos con nosotros a Donna Román Hernández. We have with us today as well, Donna Román Hernández. If you could please tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in film, that'd be great.
Yes, claro, con mucho gusto. Gracias. I started doing independent film in 2005 when I founded my film company, Blue Force Films. And for the past 15 years, I've worn every hat because I didn't have funding. So I had background in producing and directing. So I just put it all together and have been blessed to have produced 10 films in the past 15 years, independent films. My genre is survivor stories, true crime, and finished a feature film, which was a monster. But it's I've always been a storyteller. And my background as a retired law enforcement officer gave me the voice and the expertise. So it's been fun. I'm enjoying it. And I'm really looking forward to sharing my experiences along with the other panelists today.
Donna, I remember meeting you for the first time at the Northland Film Festival, and your story is just very moving. So I'm like thankful. Thank you so much for being with us today. It's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
También tenemos con nosotros a Amelia Díaz Pablo. Por favor, díganos, Amelia, de dónde se comunica con nosotros y cómo empezó en la industria del cine.
¿Cómo están? Buenas tardes. Amelia Díaz, yo soy de Perú. Un gusto de estar aquí con ustedes. Primero agradecer a Yesenia, a Anuar Public Library por la invitación y al señor Ramón Nazario con Anuar Latin Film Festival. Bueno, yo soy productora ejecutiva. Nosotras, las productoras ejecutivas, en sí nos encargamos del financiamiento completo para la realización de la película. Y en eso nosotros contratamos a los actores, contratamos al equipo técnico, al equipo de producción, o sea, en general. Y nos encargamos también de estar viendo que todo salga bien, porque está nuestra inversión de por medio. Y también nuestro nombre, porque cualquier cosa que suceda con la película, nosotros somos enteramente responsables de aquello. Bueno, es un mundo nuevo para mí. Yo soy primera vez que estoy en esto y muy feliz de estar con ustedes.
Muy impresionante, Amelia. Muchas gracias por estar con nosotros el día de hoy. This is an awesome panel, Yesenia. Thank you so much. So, pues para no gastar el tiempo, vamos a brincar a las preguntas inmediatamente. Si desean contestar las preguntas en la misma orden, muy bien. Pero díganme, señoras o señoritas, ¿por qué decidieron entrar al papel del cine o a trabajar detrás de, film, behind the scenes o en el mundo del cine? ¿Qué les inspiró? Why did you decide to get into the role that you serve as a filmmaker? Did you have any role models in the industry? What was your inspiration?
Okay. I decided to start, in this case, the production part, which is basically being an assistant. I actually enjoyed doing all that stuff, the paperwork. Like Amelia explained, you as a producer, you have to definitely take care of all the paperwork, the actors, everything that needs, a whole team to make a movie. And mixing it in with representing a short film, it all came together. It was just, you know, like a perfect circle for me. I got to see what happens behind the scenes, you know, while making a movie. And I loved just figuring out what kind of people I wanted with me, working with me. And unfortunately for me, I don't have a Latino role model, but I do have a very large group that has always been there for me and has supported me in what I do. And also, of course, you know, when it's the middle of the night and I have a question, I do have people that I can call and say, hey, you know, I need help with this. But I wanted to definitely bring Latino films into the scene. I see that there is a shortage of Latino films in general, and even the short film that I represent is actually in Spanish, it's not in English. And I see the need for it, and I want to bring my own taste of that into the film, and not in English. I want to be able to present what not only Latinos, but people that speak Spanish in general, you know, to have a voice, to say, this is what I have, you know, in whatever genre they decide to bring it in. So I'm not like encased in one specific genre. I'm, you know, between documentaries to shorts to films, I'm up for whatever comes on my table. So to me, I just loved the whole thing, everything from the start to finish. I fell in love with it, and I said, okay, I see myself doing this. Yeah.
Like a true Latina. What about you, Donna?
Well, I have background in film production, and kind of ran parallel with my being a police officer. I really wanted to tell the story about the domestic violence in my family after my mother passed away. It was actually a promise that I made to her that I would tell her story. So I just held it close to the vest. I met a young woman, Anna Marie Vogue, who was a cinematographer. She's the one who convinced me that I should be the director and the producer. She said, if you can be a cop, you can be anything. And so she inspired me. And growing up in the city of Newark, living in a non-Latino community originally. And then as years went by, more Latinos came into the community. So I had a lot of what I call urban in me. I got things done with very little money, and produced and directed the first film that I did, The Ultimate Betrayal. And after that, had success because it was helping people. I just wanted to continue to help people. So that's the path that it initially started with. That's the path that I'm still on. And somewhere in the middle, the writer in me came out, and I started writing, screenplays for feature films and things of that sort. I've had many role models along the way, not necessarily in the film industry, but I'm a woman of a certain age, so I've collected a lot of experience with good advice from others. And I think that's what makes my business successful, is that I'm willing to share what I know, and I'm willing to receive what others know. Because the bottom line is here, we're all storytellers. And the most important thing is you tell the story.
Donna, your story moved me the very first time I heard it. I think it's amazing that you're able to channel your own experiences and what some people are afraid to tap into, their emotions, to share with others. That's beautiful. I mean, that's what art is all about. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Amelia, por favor, cuéntenos cómo empezó en el cine, qué la inspiró, cómo empezó a tomar tanta responsabilidad.
Yeah, sí. Mira, lo mío es algo, podríamos decir, fuera de lo común. Aunque yo soy profesora de danza típica de mi país, me gustó siempre el arte ya de antes. Y el año pasado, más o menos por junio, tuve una invitación para ser la productora ejecutiva de una película llamada Los Campeones. Entonces, yo, que no tenía nada que hacer en ese momento, no sé, nada que ver. Nadie me avisó como es, ni lo que tenía que ver cuando entré, cuando en agosto nosotros empezamos a hacer ya la producción en sí, Vino la gente, los actores, producción, equipo técnico. Oh, eso fue, fue una adrenalina pura para mí, de verdad. Fue desde las 6 de la mañana hasta la medianoche o hasta las 2 de la mañana siguiente día. Fue excelente, me encantó, me encantó. Yo entré porque quería hacer algo, quería invertir en algo en ese momento, tener capital, y entonces me aventuré. Y mírame, me gusta y aquí estoy viendo otros proyectos que ya los tengo en mente, que después se los voy a contar. Y muy agradecida con las personas que en su momento me dieron esa oportunidad, con las productoras. Y bueno, sigo para adelante.
Excelente, excelente. Amelia, me interesa saber, usted, alguien que está entrando en algo nuevo, ¿ha tenido alguien que le ha inspirado a seguir aprendiendo, a lo mejor alguien de su equipo o alguien que usted ha visto así en la industria del cine?
Bueno, yo en este mundo del cine que para mí es nuevo.
One infringe on mine here, and I don't infringe on anybody else's. Sometimes it's a tightrope, but if you're in this industry, you have to know how to walk it. I'm sure you've experienced it, and many others. Our panelists are, talking about it as well. I just say stand firm, know your rights, and don't let anybody steamroll you, because none of us, especially women, deserve any of that.
Absolutely. Well said, Donna. I believe that, oh no, Amelia's with us. I thought, for some reason, I thought she popped in and out. Amelia, no sé si nos puede contar si usted ha tenido alguna experiencia con la discriminación o que usted ha visto en su producción, algo que nos puede relatar.
Oh, she's on mute.
What happened? Sí, ¿continuó?
Sí, si puede empezar, no la escuchamos, perdón.
Ok, no, yo te decía que como soy la productora ejecutiva, nosotros hemos sido los que hemos contratado. En este caso no, pero yo te contaré que cuando me tocó a mí salir a la calle a promocionar el producto nuestro, la película en sí, cuando le decíamos nosotros estamos haciendo una película latina, musical, para todo el mundo, que ha dejado oportunidad a los jóvenes de acá en New Jersey, lo hacíamos todo lo que podíamos. La gente nos decía, ¿y qué es eso? ¿Qué es productora? ¿Para qué? ¿Qué es eso, no? Porque uno va a buscar sponsor, va a buscar patrocinadores, toca puertas, te cierran las puertas, otros te abren de medio y otros sí te ayudan. De todo se ha visto, pero como que el producto latino, el cine latino en sí no es muy conocido. ¿Y de dónde es que vienen? ¿De qué productora? ¿Y en qué me va a beneficiar? Bueno, todos lo querían ver beneficios, claro está. Pero nosotros le decíamos, no, el mundo del cine es diferente. No es como la televisión. Usted va a salir en una pantalla grande y a todo a dar. No es como la televisión, pero ellos seguían preguntando, pero ¿eso en qué me va a beneficiar? A mí es marketing para usted, para nosotros. Es un intercambio de servicios, se puede decir. Pero bueno, ese es en ese lado y otros decían, no, yo tengo años acá, pero de verdad no consumo nada de eso, de cine latino, y nosotros hemos ido mucho a gente hispana, porque nuestra película, como es en español, nos hemos abocado solo a gente hispana de todas las nacionalidades a pedirlo, o sea, el intercambio de servicios. Nosotros difundíamos su marca y ellos en intercambio nos daban pues algunas cosas. Y esa es la parte que ha chocado más conmigo, y yo decir, pero ¿cómo que no conoce el trabajo de una productora? Y decir que es eso, ¿para qué? No sé. Fue chocante, pero ya, no hay problema.
hay que seguir luchando y como te dice, seguir tocando puertas. Muy interesante el punto que usted trae a la luz, Amelia, que en New Jersey, o bueno, a lo menos yo soy de New Jersey. We're all from Jersey, right? Yeah, we're on the Jersey
New
side.
York.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yesenia también es New Jersey.
And I know, I mean, in New York, even the New York Latin Film Festival is only X amount of years old. So I think Amelia brings up a really valid point that Latino film or you know, like Latinas in general are being represented on a film or presentation of any sort is still limited. And you know, and that's why you ladies are so awesome, because you guys are making it happen so that it's not anymore. But that's a great point. Un punto muy interesante, María, que ustedes de Perú puede ver eso. Okay. Estábamos hablando de, you know, algunas discriminaciones que han pasado a ustedes o que han tenido el placer de no tener que tener la experiencia, pero me imagino que eso sí trae limitaciones, right? A lo mejor ustedes han tenido experiencia con no querer trabajar con un equipo porque no trabajan de igual manera, o no hay respeto, o simplemente por la desigualdad del género del pago. You know, the difference in pay inequality. So tell us if you've had any experience on that end, and how you've dealt with it, or what challenges you face, and how you've moved on or been able to move, you know, surpass them.
Okay, so like Donna, in this case, I have faced that, but not in the film industry. Again, this is more on the other job that I do. I work as a side job, is basically work for Green Market. I work for different farmers, and I'm a TOEFL cookie, as you could say. And I've had to basically, you know, fight a little for what I earn, because I can pretty much do what everybody else can do, and I do it very, very well. So I have had to fight for what I earn. I've faced obviously the different limitations of, well, you're a woman, what can you do? And then when I do the things that I'm supposed to do, because, you know, this is a one-person job, it's like, oh, okay. So I'm like, yeah, well, now can you sort of like give me, you know, a much higher raise? Because just because I'm a woman doesn't mean I don't know what I'm doing, and that I, you know, and it's turned around into a point where in the beginning I was just seen as, you know, little girl, you know, little lady, you know, that she's just here to sell. And it turned into, oh, okay, I want you to train the people that are now going to work with you. I want you to teach them. So it evolved, you know, over the time, and in a very tough way, because it was definitely something that I had to fight for. And as I came into film, again, surrounding myself with the right people. Thankfully, everybody that I have, usually when I start speaking, you know, salaries, and I go, well, I'm getting paid this, the first thing I hear is, no, you need to get paid this. So go back to the, you know, to the table and request this. So, you know, people, you know, that know me, they go, no, that's not what you're supposed to get paid. This is what you're supposed to get paid. This is what you're supposed to require. Because obviously I'm not familiar with what you're supposed to get paid as a producer, or as a line producer, or as somebody that, like in my case, I represent films. I'm supposed to get paid a certain amount of money just for doing that. Sure. So it's been actually more of a learning experience for me, because, you know, as it being new and me not being familiar with, you know, the different gaps that already happen in the film industry, I'm definitely navigating those okay, I guess, but I know that I have such a long way to go, because obviously when I say, oh yeah, you know, I think this is okay, in reality I'm actually underselling myself sometimes, but you don't know that. You don't know that you're underselling yourself until you speak to somebody else that's a more seasoned filmmaker, and they say, oh no, that's not it. So like the first time that happened to me, I said, okay, I'm definitely not familiar. And what I did was I have somebody that I talked to, and I asked them again, okay, how much is it that I'm supposed to get for this? How much is it that I'm supposed to get for this? What is the average? And I have started educating myself over, you know, what I'm supposed to get paid, regardless of me being a man or a woman. That's it. So it's an interesting thing, because not a lot of people know that.
Yeah, Edith, you've brought up two excellent points. Educating yourself, what, you know, anything that you do, continuing to learn, improving, educating yourself, though, going out and finding those answers for yourself is very important. I know as an actress, it's something I do constantly. But more importantly, surrounding yourself with a team that's going to protect your interests and always, keep your best interest in mind. Again, I think I said this earlier, you're very lucky to have found that. But those are very two good takeaways. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Donna, are there any experiences with inequality of pay that you've perhaps experienced, or any other type of, not being able to work with a project or not wanting to be involved with a project because of inequalities that you saw occurring?
Well, I know I've been passed over for, because people really don't, they look at me and maybe just see the work that I used to do and not the work that I have done, in retirement. So those types of projects, if there's problems in the beginning, there's problems throughout. So I stay away from those types of situations. Grants, I've been fortunate that I know some people that have, mentored me along the way how to look for grants to be a part of a larger project. Maybe not be the director, potentially be the producer or the screenwriter. So I have a multitude of responsibilities that I can split up. Mm-hmm. Not only do my work, but be a consultant and be a part of other people's projects. So I have found that has worked for me, early on. And also I do consulting. And I feel that the pay scale for consulting is one that's a slippery one. And especially when I'm called to be a consultant on a law enforcement project, I kind of get bumped by the males that have done it. And when I tell them that I'm a former captain, I have rank, that kind of, it brings a smile to their faces. But what I'm really saying with that is don't judge a book by its cover.
That's right.
And I may not look like a Latina, but I'm a Latina. And you're going to get what you get if, like you poke the bear. Like I said, sometimes I have to poke the bear, but I don't like to be poked. I don't like to be challenged. If my resume speaks, it precedes me, right? Wherever I go. And that should be it. It shouldn't be questions about qualifications. It should be, how do your qualifications fit into the project that we're doing? Or that's what I look for when I select actors. I have many actors that have come on board with me and have stayed on board with me. And what their pay is credit, film credit, because I'm self-financed. I do GoFundMe, fundraising things. Sometimes I have benevolent individuals who want to invest in the projects that I do, or they just want to be humanitarian and do things for the project because they know it's going to be for advocacy or awareness, because I do also do those types of things too. And I donate my time also, where I'm not looking for a paycheck at the end of it. If the project has merit and I can contribute to it and the greater cause for a greater group, I'm in. So as I said, I'm a woman of a certain age. You come through certain decades of women's liberation, civil rights movement, as I have, all the wars, Vietnam War and all these things. I've seen a lot in 60 years. So I take everything with a grain of salt, but at the end of the day, it has to work for me. It has to have honesty with it, transparency with it, and what's the message? Mm-hmm. What is the message of this project? So as I said, I run my own team, but in the end, as I said, we're all storytellers and we have purpose.
Donna, you also bring up two good points. Understanding a project from the beginning is so important, but some people are just so eager to be on a project at all that, they'll just jump on it. And I think your words were problems at the beginning, problems throughout. So, vetting kind of who you're working with is important. But grants, looking for resources that are local to us. And I know that's something that Amelia brought up earlier, just being able to find resources that are available to us in the film industry here locally in New Jersey and New York. So thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
But that definitely takes me into another question. And I think I'm going to start with Amelia in this, if that's okay. Amelia, si yo entendí correctamente, usted desde Perú trató de, producción, una película aquí en New Jersey. ¿Sí? ¿Eso fue lo que entendí?
Sí. Yo vivo acá en New Jersey y la película la hemos rodado acá en New Jersey.
Oh,
acá
okay, perfect.
Ha sido, acá mismo en New Jersey, en Elizabeth, en Patterson, Harrison. Hemos tenido varias locaciones, pero el 90% de la película se hizo acá en New Jersey. Otra parte se ha hecho en New York y la otra parte se ha hecho en Canadá.
Oh, ok, excelente. La pregunta que tengo para usted es, ¿con qué facilidad usted pudo encontrar los recursos que le ayudó a su película o a producir su película?
Bueno, creo que la palabra no es facilidad, porque de fácil no ha sido. Nos ha tocado muchos dolores de cabeza, migraña por montón y full estrés. Pero al que le gusta, bueno, ahí estamos dándole. Lo que sucede es que uno puede tener que estar en la inversión, tiene que tener el dinero, pero a nosotras para poder buscar la locación en sí, para que sea la grabación de la película, tenemos que ir a buscar, este lugar, por ejemplo, nosotros conseguimos el lugar, piden un garage, ¿no? Para filmar una parte de la escena, la conseguimos, pero tiene que ir el director a chequear. Tiene que ir el director de cámaras para ver si la luz está bien, si no hay eco, tanta cosa en conjunto para que después te digan, no, esa no va. Y tú sales corriendo a buscar otro lugar porque de acá 2 días es la filmación y como tú sabes que cuando ya todos saben la partitura, todo está cronometrado, sabiendo de qué día y a qué hora se va a hacer la filmación de la película y tú no puedes fallar. Ok, la batería. ¿A qué hora no puedes fallar? Entonces, nosotras hemos estado en eso, digo nosotras porque somos 4 mujeres que estamos unidas. Perdona, muchachas, la batería me falló justo en este momento. Why don't you hold on a moment, please? So sorry.
No, it happens. Amelia's phone is dying. Or laptop, but it happens.
Listo, para que no se apague y no me deje. Bueno, nosotros hemos tenido muchos inconvenientes en ese aspecto. Buscar el hotel, por ejemplo, para cuando venga el actor, cuando venga el equipo de producción, el equipo técnico, el hotel, la comida, porque nos tocó alimentar a 100 personas en un día, desayuno y almuerzo. Eso fue un bolondrón. Pero ahí estamos, la película al final salió aquí y lo que me enorgullece mucho, de verdad, por hacer mi primera experiencia como productora ejecutiva es que mucha gente de New Jersey, de New York hicieron el casting, mucha gente joven ha participado en nuestra película, joven, niños y adultos de varias nacionalidades. Entonces, aquí en New Jersey hay mucho potencial, de verdad les digo, hay mucho potencial que nos toca a nosotras seguir ahí apoyándolos a ellos, de verdad.
Sí, y usted dice que hizo la película en Nueva York, y New Jersey, y Canadá. ¿Usted vio una diferencia en la producción o los recursos que estaban disponibles para su equipo de producción en cada lugar?
Sí, eso sí, porque a veces cuando, por ejemplo, acá en New Jersey nosotros hemos querido hacer en algún parque una de las escenas, hemos tenido que ir a buscar los permisos, porque no es como en Sudamérica que uno puede agarrar la calle, la sierra y todo es feliz. No, acá no puedes, tienes que pedir permiso, right?
No.
Se demora. Hay que estar, llame, haciendo maravillas para que pueda salir al fin, pero hay en otros lados que, por ejemplo, en New York o en Canadá puede ser la diferencia que en New York, pues, te dan las facilidades y en Canadá también no se han hecho problema, ellos han conseguido todo y se los han dado así. Acá en New Jersey quizás porque como las 4 somos nuevas en el asunto, no hemos sabido el canal directo donde ir para pedir el servicio. Definitivamente quizás sea uno de esos, pero ya nos queda como experiencia a nosotras, como productoras, para los siguientes películas que vamos a realizar.
Sure. What about you, Donna and Edith? I know that the landscape and cinematography, especially Latinos in cinematography, is very different in New York and New Jersey. What are there challenges that you faced in directing and producing or being part of film festivals that you've overcome?
That's a good one. I can see that I've had maybe the advantage, like Donna mentioned, having, I see both sides of the coin, okay? I have been told by people, well, you're a woman, you get in easily. That's like the first thing I hear, you know, you have priority because certain festivals want to fill the slots with that. But I have to explain, no, I'm just the face. I'm the person that's backing up this project, and I'm the one that's taking it to all these festivals. You don't know what I have to go through to make sure that I get this film to these festivals. Basically, the fact that it comes with basically all men, literally, this is a film made by all men. There is not a single woman in this film, is what's a bit baffling because it gets everywhere. But as me, myself personally, as I try to get it into every festival, yes, when I show up, they're kind of like taken aback, like, oh, where's the guys? So you kind of get that sense. But again, I come in strong, and whatever is about to come out of their mouths, it's gone right away with the minute I start talking. That it's like it automatically gets thrown off the side, and suddenly they're like, okay, fine. But it is, I think it is very difficult for women to navigate herself in the film industry, especially in film festivals, because a lot of them don't know where to start. They don't know what to look for. They don't know, for example, like if you have a film, how to navigate the countless festivals. Some of them just take your money, and you know, you don't hear of them ever again. Whereas others, you know, the competition is so high. You don't even, you know, no chance at all whatsoever unless you have, you know, somebody on the inside, you know, looking out for your project to begin with. So I've seen it. I've met other female filmmakers whose first question is, how did you do it? How did you get the film here? How did you get the film there? And the thing is, it is that I've had to spend, I mean, I'm talking hours, not just like a few minutes. I'm talking hours going every single festival. I comb through like not just 1 year or 2 years. I go through like 3 years worth of selections. And over the course, I've learned that the biggest thing that I think everybody should have in mind is the festival is not there for you to cater to it. It's the other way around, okay? How can this festival benefit from my film? That's how it is, okay? My film, why do you want my film? Why should I even consider you for my film? That's how you have to see it, okay? Because again, each festival has an audience. Do you have the audience for my film? Do you want my film? And on occasion, with I've shared with different directors the film, and I've said, okay, this is my film. Do you think this will fit in your festival? Because I'm looking at what you have in there, and I do not see anything that basically, you know, comes close to what I have. Okay, there's nothing in there that can, you know, make me say, yeah, sure, I'll consider you. So I've learned to think more of, I guess, more on the film. How can this film fit in there, and will the audience benefit from it? And again, probably my best experience was going into a specific film festival where the film was shown in such a way that I found it offending. And I said, well, this has nothing to do with what we're pretty much promoting the film as. And it definitely bothered me a lot that this specific festival just pretty much broke it down and did whatever the hell they wanted to do with it in such a way that I found it very disrespectful. I said, my film does not fall upon that, and I certainly did not put it in that category to, you know, out of all the things, you know, they decided to change the category, which they can do. The festival can say, oh yeah, sure, I know you submitted in this category, but I think it fits better here. So it's definitely an experience that I definitely learned that I needed to speak up and say, well, no, that's not where my film falls under, and pull it out. That's it. I, as a filmmaker, have the right to say, you know what, yeah, I don't think so. You know, you can't do that. You can't put my film in under that perspective because it's not meant for that. So it's a learning curve along the way, you know, when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm. I know, Yesenia, we're coming up to our time, right?
Yes, thank you.
So before we all kind of move on from this wonderful discussion, I think we would all like to hear a little bit about what you may be working on now and how we can find you and follow you and meet with you and learn from you and be obsessed with you. So Donna, if you could just share with us how we can find you, maybe your website, your handles, what you're working on. Most importantly, we want to see it.
Well, what I'm working on, I'm publishing my autobiography, which is based in part on The Ultimate Betrayal, which was my first documentary film about my mom and myself. So that will be published in about 3 months. And I'm working on a TV series pitch on a very contemporary topic, which of course, you know, I just can't spill the beans about.
That's okay.
I've storyboarded it, finishing the manuscript. I have all the actors, and we're going to do a pitch, which is very popular now. It saves time, money, and that's what the production companies are basically looking for. So we're taking Blue Force Films to another level, and I've launched my new website, www.donnaromanhernandez.com, which will bring everything that I do full circle. So I'm excited about that. A very short film that I did called The End is getting picked up in the film festivals. So I'm looking forward to screening that within the next couple of months. And just keeping it real during this time of the pandemic, staying home, being good to myself and others, being creative. And thank you for this opportunity to be a part of this great panel with my colleagues, and you're hosting, and the Newark Public Library, my heart and soul as a writer and a reader. So just thank you all around. Gracias a todos ustedes. And let's all just stay safe and healthy.
Donna, thank you so much. I'll definitely be on your website, and I'll be keeping track of whatever you do. I love your story, and I can't wait to see more of your stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Edith, how can we find you?
Well, I am actually, it's under construction, as I could say. I already started creating my own brand. I started already creating my own experience, curriculum, because obviously I don't have much hands-on here in the United States. Most of my experiences with abroad, I work with the producers from Spain, so it's a whole different story there. Currently working on, again, like Donna, I'm working on a pitch for a documentary. So that's taken up most of my time to the point that my own brand has taken a backseat. But I'm excited over that. And I have a few other projects that are also, again, from Spain as well. But I'm hoping to be able to either produce them over there or produce them over here. If you want to find me, I'm in Instagram, just by Clem Crescent, just like my last name. You'll be able to find me there. And until then, right now I'm just focused on those small things, which, you know, also entails learning as I go along. And yeah, just thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. You know, it's great to hear different stories and the experience, because, you know, you learn so much, and I appreciate, you know, you guys having me here. Thank you.
Edith, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing your experience. I think as a Latina in the film industry myself, I expected to hear specific stories, and you guys all brought such different perspectives. So thank you so much for sharing. Amelia, si quisiéramos encontrar su proyecto o ver en qué está trabajando, cómo la encontramos, y díganos en qué está trabajando ahora.
Bueno, les comunico que nosotros estamos viendo otro proyecto que se quedó en stand-by por lo de la pandemia, pero nosotros ya, la película nuestra que salió el año pasado está en postproducción, pero ahora, bueno, les cuento una cosa, iba a salir el 4 de abril, todo estaba ready para el 4 de abril, el gran estreno con after party, todo lo demás, con alfombra roja y todo listo, y faltando unos 20 días cerraron todo, tú sabes. Entonces nos hemos quedado así con el vestido puesto, mejor dicho, ¿no? Ya será seguro el otro año que vamos a hacer el estreno, o quizás a fin de año, no se sabe, todavía estamos en espera para eso, pero sí estamos viendo otras posibilidades de seguir trabajando y seguir dando oportunidades más talentos juvenil aquí. Yo todavía, yo soy como una productora independiente por el momento, porque más adelante haga en concreto una productora de verdad, pero, y bueno, a mí me encuentran en el Instagram, yo tengo mi nombre así como está, tal cual, Amelia Díaz Pablo, y voy a empezar a difundir más para a ver si por ahí hay alguien más que quiera ser productora ejecutiva, porque de verdad hay mucho talento, hay mucha gente que escribe, pero lo que le falta es el financiamiento, ¿no? Y nosotras estamos para poder ayudar, tantas inversiones se necesitan y hay tanta empresa en este país que puede aportar en eso, si se puede. Y bueno, y eso es todo, darle las gracias a ustedes, un gusto haberlas conocido de verdad, espero verlas así de persona en persona y seguir compartiendo más conocimiento con todas.
Amelia, yo espero conocerlas pronto a todas en vivo, así
ya.
Para tocar, bueno.
Sí, claro, tiene que ser, claro que sí. Claro.
Amelia,
Michelle,
pero yo creo que... Oh,
¿cómo la podemos continuar a usted?
Oh, me? Oh, just me. So, yo como actriz estoy self-producing mi propio show que se llama Mingle with Michelita. Michelita is my Instagram name, and this is where most people know me. So, Mingle with Michelita is set to be released June 28th. I made sure I knew that this time. And it's just me hanging out with my friends, having a good time, and shining light on different issues that I think affect me as a Latina. But yeah, I mean, I'm also a dancer and I'm working on a few projects there. I keep busy, and I think Yesenia said it well. Whatever puts me on stage, I learn and I do. I've touched production over quarantine, right? Because you gotta do it all on your own, and I love it. It's so much more fun having a say of what you can and cannot do. So hopefully I have the pleasure of working with one or all of you ladies soon. You ladies are awesomely talented. Thank you so much for being here today. And thank you for having me.
Thank you. Yes, definitely. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. You know, I am not part of the industry, but I learned a lot today. Aunque no trabajo en la industria, yo sí aprendí mucho de ustedes. And I feel a personal connection with each of you. Know, Dana Roman Hernandez, you're a storyteller, and a part of my job is being a story listener. You know, so I think you and I could connect for sure to share some of those stories. You know, I don't know if you ladies know, but the Hispanic Research and Information Center, we document the lives of Latino communities in the state of New Jersey. En el centro, nosotros documentamos la historia de nuestra comunidad latina. En parte de... Perdona, tengo una visita antes que nos vayamos.
Ay,
Let me talk, baby. So, okay.
Oh, my goodness.
So, you know, what we do is document that history by way of collecting papers, films. Of course, I love to make sure and document and keep the work that you guys are all working on. We preserve it and we make it available for history for everybody. El trabajo que ustedes hacen, nosotros lo documentamos, lo preservamos ahí en el centro, y básicamente está ahí dispuesto para lo que están haciendo búsquedas, cualquier cosa, tiene la historia de los latinos aquí en New Jersey. And so definitely, you know, Edith, it was great to hear about that foundation, you know, that is so very important in everybody's lives and careers. You know, it's really important to keep a very a tight foundation so that you know, you could go on and move on in life. You know, Amelia también, me encantó como usted dijiste, you know, hay dificultades en nuestro trabajo, en nuestra vida, pero no importa, hay que seguir luchando, por, especialmente cuando no le gusta su trabajo, cuando no le gusta lo que está trabajando. And so, Michelle, of course, you know, I'm just in love with your character. I can't wait for Mingle with Michelita.
Mingle with Michelita.
I'm gonna be following all of you ladies, you know, and I want to thank you and for this program, and hopefully we could definitely get together in person when we open again. Yeah. So before we leave, I just have to make sure and ask everybody by way of hands. Antes que nos vayamos, por favor, dime si ha completado el censo del 2020. If you completed your census 2020.
Yeah.
Perfect. You know, as a historian, again, you know, I have to say it is really important, not just for the funding that we receive, but as a historian, you know, it's important to take the census and make sure that you document your presence here. So thank you, everybody. It's been a wonderful program. Make sure you catch us on Facebook and on YouTube. It'll be played again. And stay tuned for more programming. Check us out at either our Facebook. We have the NJ Hispanic Research and Information Center. We have the Newark Public Library, or you can visit our website at www.npl.org. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.